So we're gonna do that again, and boy, do we have
let's
a nice
use Twitch
pile
this
of
time.
nerfs.
Woohoo!
But it's also gonna include Baba Yaga buffs in the bonus balance. We have been probably gonna likely adjust new gods inside the bonus balance if possible, just to make sure we can get them to a safe place quicker.
The audio as loud as it can go again.
Usually it's a meta nerf when it's a new god, right? Like, this sounds kind of crazy, buffing a new god. I know it's not something we normally do. We can talk about it more when we get to Baba. And then we're also going to include a map change to Joust and Duel minions. So those are all going to be in the bonus balance because those we all think are pretty important. We want to get those to you as quick as possible, and they're all relatively quick numbers changes, so easy to ship technically. So it's a big bonus balance, though, this update. It's a big one.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Joust and
Big
Duel.
bonus
As you mentioned
balance
earlier,
patch.
we've got some minions to changes to the minions. Can you kind of explain what's going on with Joust? I know we made some changes in the last update, and we're kind of doing a little bit of a revert here.
Correct. So we fixed some scaling issues, and we added we did a lot of adjustments to the way jungle camps and the lane minions scale throughout the course of a Joust or a Duel match. And we do have different rules for Joust and Duel that we can use on occasion, but this one doesn't happen to apply in that way. This one's going to apply to both maps. And what we did was we made the minions get really tanky, especially late game. And what we noticed is that especially fire minions, and in both of the maps, they were feeling really, really tanky late game. So we're dialing that back essentially to a safe place in between the two previous purges. So, before we did the update, they were pretty squishy. Then became super tanky. Now we're going back just to somewhere in the middle for only the fire minions. This is to give people a slightly larger chance to come back from the late game. Obviously, if your Phoenix is down, you're back against the wall, you're pretty likely to be ended up losing that match anyway. But this is gonna give you some more hope to come back.
Right, cool. All right, so let's go right into guides, and we're gonna kick things off with Baba Yaga. Pond,
give me a Baba Yaga share.
Where she's at, and how we're looking to give her some nice buffs.
Yeah, she was actually the first release where we really were like full swing and work from home. Obviously, she shipped with a few bugs that caused her performance to be a bit lower, but we've gone through a whole bunch of fixes
one or two
to reduce that rate, and we have some further ones coming in. But even through all those different issues that she might have, we see that her overall performance is still lower than what we would expect. And so we are buffing a newly released god, which I don't think we've had to do in a while.
But she might be, depending on what they do to her, she might be so good.
Making sure that Baba's brew feels impactful. It's a difficult to hit
skill here we go.
Which is kind of intended because
increase damage from 55 to 215 to 65 to 225. So 10 flat damage per rank and 10% scaling on brew.
Players can really hit those fireballs and get team fight presence going.
Brew's already good when it works.
We try really carefully to not buff new gods a lot of the time. Even gods that players perceive as balanced, or many of new gods are generally perceived as overpowered. Even depending on their perception, their stats might be very different. Like new gods that the community thinks are overpowered actually might be putting up pretty mediocre win rates in a lot of cases because players are still learning them. So we give people time to learn them, but we saw feedback pretty clear with Baba that she felt really underpowered. So you're
10 flat and 10% scaling is not bad.
Sweep of damage buffs across two abilities, as well as a little bit of increased
decent damage right there.
You
have to factor it in. That's times 2, basically.
And the speed of the projectile travel time on the ultimate. So what that means is you will not be able to throw them faster. The attack speed is the same, but they will travel from Baba's hands to the target
Increase
faster.
burst damage from 60 to 160 to 75 to 195. Increase burst damage scaling from 30 to 35%. Increase bird damage scaling from 10 to 12.5. Decrease the travel time of the bolt from 0.8 to 0.53. And added 10% magical scaling to the shield HP.
We're going to be keeping a really close eye on her for next patch. I think it might be even possible that we'd be nerfing her somewhere in between for next patch.
That's a big fat buff. Her ult just became
She's a really interesting god. Really
real good.
Per her design. So working as intended, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And a lot of interesting places to adjust if we need to as well.
And I'll say, from anecdotal evidence, personally playing a lot of games this weekend, I've seen some very good Baba players already. Like, I know a lot of people are saying she feels unimpactful. I have seen some really
Baba's
good
going to be insane.
And I think after these changes,
ulti change plus that 2 change.
Bug fix section, she's got a relatively long list there too. I think she'll be feeling she'll be feeling like a new god, that's for sure. However you perceive that to be powerful or not, that's what she'll be feeling like.
Oh, yeah.
Baba Yaga is getting a buff, but that is the only buff for bonus balance. We've got a
they usually don't do buffs in bonus balances. It's almost always nerfed. nerfs. There's usually like one really bad
vision. We're going to be decreasing the vision radius here, and then through the realms is
ultimate. Nice.
We're going to be decreasing the initial hit damage and the initial hit scaling.
Nice Heim nerfs.
Yeah, so vision is one of his more unique aspects.
Get wrecked,
a lot of ways to really benefit from having vision. But
yesterday I got hit by through the realms for 1,500 damage.
See really far, provide a lot of safety for Heimdall.
100
so that's one place you want to nerf
damage.
him, but also through the realms, that initial hit it just really hits hard. So even if you successfully beats it, or do things to avoid being launched into the air, you still feel like you kind of lost because you just took so much damage.
Thank the Lord.
So we're bringing it down so that you really do need to get someone actually into through the realms to actually get all that damage.
Good.
Heimdall, we took a few patches off from adjusting. We had nerfed him really heavily. We wanted to see how that was going to affect him. His stats definitely dropped, but obviously the perception, the ban rate, the pick rate still super high. So we really tried to focus in on what are the two things that people really feel are the strongest about him. That vision range.
I know they've nerfed it so many times. It's still
and that initial damage, that ultimate damage is really strong too. So I think those
good changes so far. No complaints.
No complaints.
Definitely. All right, next up for Nurse, we've got Horus, and to the
probably
skies.
Gonna get a nerf.
The movement
you think
speed
so?
that Horus gains from 135% back down to 70%.
Yeah, that was a crazy idea.
Yeah, so it was 35% to start. We went to 130. Now we're going to 70%. Just for
that was a quick one.
Changes.
Yeah, this one's tricky because it's the percentage are heavily applied for diminishing returns. So like the second half of that 130% is not as impactful as the first half, if that makes sense. So we put him someplace in between. He's still going to be pretty fast, not currently as fast as he is now.
He can literally jump half the map.
Has very strong SPL applications, but is not quite as powerful in all other levels of play. We still wanted to improve this ultimate because a lot of people felt like it just felt kind of slow.
That's a much more reasonable.
We just want to tone it back a little bit.
35 to 70, not 35 to 135.
I loved it personally.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I know. It's so fun.
That's a much more reasonable
But a lot of pros
spot.
were concerned that it didn't really have much counterplay. Some of those strategies were a little too strong. So now, with warding and some player positioning and spreading out across the map and decreasing this a little bit, that should help. But you'll still be able to make some pretty sick Horus plays in your matches at home, I'm sure, even with this change.
Definitely.
Much more reasonable position
we've got
for him.
Hoon bots, and a couple changes here for him. We've got infused strikes. We're decreasing the empowered basic attack from 20%
to
15%.
He was in every game.
His ultimate Fear No Evil is going to be increased in cooldown.
Whoa, there we go. That's a big nerf.
Yeah, Hoon bots is like a really good team fighter, right?
He's crazy, honestly. And although we haven't seen,
that's
necessary.
Like
we haven't seen that much discussion about him.
That's unnecessary.
But his metrics are insane. His pick and win rates across ranked and SPL and competitive and challenger.
He's got an amazing ult,
everything in between are really.
He's got his
really
ulti. He's got great early game clear and an amazing
needed a little downward adjustment. That ultimate is just like the premier team fight assassin ultimate. We're bumping that cooldown up to like near global level. And just taking a little bit of damage off of his kind of in-hand cancel.
That's a good change. These are all good changes so far.
It's really strong for sure. So it's just a small touch there, but that should be impactful. And this character is just so strong. So I feel pretty comfortable with these changes.
And this bonus balance.
All right, moving right along here. We've got Merlin up next.
Nerfed.
And we're going to be making a couple changes to Blizzard, decreasing the scaling
dude. These are great changes.
Also, it hits up to 8 times, so total scaling is going to be decreased from 160% to 120%. And then Dragonfire, we are reducing max stacks of protection reduction from 8 to 6 and decreasing the scaling per tick from 20% to 15%.
My gosh.
Yeah, this reduces his
good
kind of control on targets who are locked down as well as objectives specifically, right? This is reducing the scaling from Blizzard, Dragonfire, and also the protections. So the area where Merlin was really, really highly valued, he's being a bit reduced, but if you're still looking to burst players down
with
a really good stance switch into using a lot of your abilities, you can still accomplish that, but that like top-end application is being brought back down.
So Merlin's, he's been nerfed a lot, but he's been pretty impervious. He hasn't dropped super hard in win rate. He certainly has dropped over the year since we've been nerfing him pretty consistently. But he's still pretty high. I believe he is still the #1 picked god in ranked and in casual conquest even. he is, and the pros giving us overwhelming feedback that he still needs more nerfs, that he just feels oppressive to the entire mage meta to them. So we're trying to be really careful to adjust Merlin in a way that we think is going to affect the pro meta more than the rest of players. We think pros are especially good at using those abilities with a large amount of ticks to use them to burn objectives, and to
we're getting good changes, Lennox.
Longer and really
this could very much change the same 10 gods.
A lot of people you get out of Blizzard relatively quickly.
These are good changes,
right? You're not usually taking all of those ticks. So yeah, these are a few specific adjustments to bring down his absolute top end potential for damage, but one that we don't expect people to really get hurt in the casual arena and conquest type of scenes.
Good. Right.
Still one of the most fun, most popular mages we've ever created. So it's always a shame that we got to nerf him some more. But we're seeing that in the feedback, and we want to be responsible.
It's not a shame. It's not a shame to make the game more fun to play.
Another god that I love to play, Odin, gonna get some nerfs here. Lunge and Raven Shout both getting cooldown increases.
This is such a good bonus balance patch.
And then Gungnir's Might, we're increasing the cooldown by 2 seconds, from 12 seconds to 14.
Love that.
Yeah, after the rework, he's been still being a pretty strong bully warrior. He can really effectively dive the backline with a lot of bursts and survive for a really long time. And his ultimate is a lot more
increased
reliable.
cooldowns on his 1, 2, and 3.
Down how frequently he can
good
do all
changes.
These he can leap in and then very quickly get another shield up to survive people trying to re-engage on him.
Dude.
Gungnir's Might
this bonus balance patch is literally crushing it.
And that's what you want on a warrior, but he was doing that above.
This is all bonus balance, by the way. So all of these things that we're talking about right now will be live in 1 week.
Definitely, I feel like
the
discussion with him has calmed down as well. And but his win rate is still real strong. And his pick ban rate's still pretty strong too. I like how we're getting this into this flow where Pon gives a little bit more of an applicable gameplay description, and then I'm just stats.
I like it.
But it's not just stats. I want to make it clear that perception and player pick ban and player feedback is really important to us. And Odin, although it's calmed down a little bit, we're still hearing a lot of Odin comments. We're still seeing a lot of
really
high
want
pick
Odin
ban for Odin
to be
of the characters
counter
that we're
pick
nerfing
and not
today,
a pick regardless
of counter. Have the highest win rate. A lot of other characters are much lower, like Merlin and some spoilers, Yamoja and some other characters, Horus, are sub 50 win rate. But because of their applications and competitive,
you want to pick Odin because their team picked no jumps, or they picked healing. You don't want to just pick Odin because Odin's open. That means he's way too strong.
That's for sure.
Yes.
So that's a great nerf.
Somebody else who's been crushing matches as of late in the solo lane specifically. Sobek is going to be getting a nerf here, and Blessing of the Nile,
I love Sobek.
We're going to be
needs to be nerfed.
The per level scaling from 10 per stack to 4 plus 0.3 per level.
Yep.
He got a lot of free protections, and combined with some previous adjustments we made to help him out when he was underperforming.
That's actually a great change.
His survivability has just been really high, and so he's been a very dominant pick in the solo lane. And we wanted to make a targeted change
38 protections at the start of the game is extremely strong.
Adjustment in terms of his ability to sustain throughout an engagement and throughout rotating, but not make him just so hard to kill out the gate at the start of the game.
Right, that really the early game is what's up with Sobek. His early game has always been pretty insane. We did give him that HP scaling. We wanted him to be better late game because of that. So then now we feel comfortable turning back this protections, which can be pretty potent early game. And it's going to scale up with his level, which is a really cool feature. So that can keep his late game.
As somebody that played a lot of support recently, he was also
it's pretty much the impressive in the duo lane. Now. And
you either picked him or you basically lost lane.
Sobek is the most picked god. He was tied for Merlin in picks in ranked, which is crazy, right?
Because he wins the duo lane
a relatively unpopular god. So if you're curious about how
just
much
win the
Sobek
duo lane
recently, that is where he's at.
Yeah,
tied
I believe
with Merlin for ranked play.
We've talked about it a lot.
Insane. I think the still god will still be very strong in solo and duo, but yeah.
Cool. All right, we are moving away from Egypt, and we're going to go to Asgard for a little bit.
We're going to nerf Thor, too? Guys, is it my birthday? This is the best bonus balance patch ever.
The physical power scaling from 100% to 90%.
I'll take anything I can get on Thor.
Yeah, so this is a character whose ban rate and pick rate has been very highly contested for quite some time now. And why the past nerfs that we've done have affected his metrics,
right now.
and we're seeing that.
Happy birthday.
People still view him as like this really top competitive pick, and mainly that's his global pressure. He can land down someone to really find that kill threshold. Reducing the physical power scaling on this will just kind of make sure that players have more opportunity to survive that kind of initial dunk, and it will be a little bit more effort on
Hyra's been watching the stream.
Team part.
I know they have been. That's why they're getting all these really good ideas.
Well said, Pon. Thor, since his rework, brought a lot of new hype to the kit. He's been nerfed pretty consistently since then. His performance is already back down relatively low in win rate. He is more of a high skill type of character already. Maybe you might disagree with that. That's okay, but the numbers say otherwise. And we're trying to look for a small
I've
targeted
seen people trying to land that Thor
like we described.
It's higher skill than you'd think.
So, yeah, let's keep these meta nerfs rolling. We're gonna rush out all the meta nerfs, but we've got a lot of spicy buffs for the main patch. But all the meta nerfs are the ones coming out right now.
Is that the end of bonus balance?
How many more we got? 2, 3?
2 more.
Two more in the bonus balance.
Next up, let's talk about Ull.
This is a huge
bladed arrow.
Are they gonna nerf
or
Uller?
thrown axe. We're gonna be decreasing the base damage on bladed arrow.
It's so beautiful.
And increasing the mana cost.
Oh my god.
Hail of arrow. We're gonna be increasing the mana cost as well.
Oh.
A little bit of edge off his early game lane pressure and kill pressure, as well as a bit more.
This is amazing.
Lowering his ability to spam as effectively as he currently does. He's able to spam really heavily to get all of his cooldowns back.
Less damage on the one, more mana cost.
If you're going to be using your abilities that often, it should come at some penalty, and so the increased mana cost per rank will help that.
Yeah.
This god has just been absolutely annihilating in
How much did I pay them? Dude, I must have paid him a lot.
Super highly contested lately. Performing quite well everywhere else across the board.
SMITE next week is going to be awesome!
Safe to make a small adjustment downward. I think the mana costs are the most important. Those really make the Uller player have to prioritize their attacks more carefully, especially in modes like Conquest.
Yeah, talk dirty to
me.
And
that bladed arrow damage, I think, that'll be a nice little touch, but not going to be.
You're blading my arrow right now, Ajax.
That's for sure.
Yes, you are.
Right. Cool. All right. So last up for bonus balance, we've got one more nerf, and it is to Umoja. We're making a change to Omi here, increasing the level at which Umoja gains Omi.
Yes.
From 4 to 12 up
to
6 to 14.
Yes.
And then bouncing.
They can't stop, dude. They're so handsome. They can't stop.
Yeah, so she's really interesting of a character.
And decrease the bouncing bubble. Oh, yes!
No cooldowns, but resource-based instead. And we're just looking to slow that down some.
Bonus
so that
balance
the amount of resources
ever.
that you have available to you at key points in the game is a little bit less, but you can still definitely utilize
Missed
that
the
unique
Persephone nerf. That was like basically it.
Damage so that she isn't so much of a bully even when she's building pure tank.
Well, and Afro. Persephone and Afro, the two that I missed. They could be in the regular patch, though.
Yeah,
that was just bonus balance.
A lot of people feeling like
there could be an Afro Persephone
really
nerf
well
in the actual
across the
patch.
game. She is a little bit tricky to play already, and this nerf is going to be impactful. Slowing down the amount of Omi she gets, it's going to slow down her early game and her mid game quite a bit.
It's an apple. That was a very tomato-looking apple for a second.
That's a big change. And then that level 1 pressure on her is just crazy. Like, we had to bring that down a little bit. So,
for sure.
People were pretty upset that Umoja dodged nerfs last update, or they felt like we were handling the alternate build path Umoja's a little too much, even though that nerf with Umoja still had like 3 changes that affected Umoja regardless of a build. 3 nerfs regardless of a build, you win. So I think there was a little bit of over-memeing going on there. But continue to nerf Umoja, look for a place where she can feel balanced. But she's a tricky god. She's very unique in her application, so her balance is an interesting arc of work on her too.
Cool.
Well,
that wraps it up for bonus balance. As a reminder, all those changes we just covered are going to be live in game next Tuesday, May 5th. And along with those balance changes, we actually got a few awesome skins that we want to touch on here too. So let's kick things off with Grim Omens Part 2 of Chapter 2. And the first one we're going to look at is Centaurian Chiron. And Chiron hasn't gotten a skin in a long time.
Yeah, Chiron's nice.
I'll play Chiron. I think he's fun.
Yeah,
he's not a great hunter, but he's a fun hunter.
Sci-fi theme, not quite like any other skin in the game, which I really like.
Yeah, I definitely love all the details in the armor and like the ponytail and like the tail, like those little particle effects. Look super cool.
I like the really pointed feet. Right, feels very mechy.
Yeah, I'm down
for sure.
Yeah, that's a cool detail. And when you're thinking Chiron,
he did have
I always just think the alt, like shooting big old laser beams, right?
Very small
like
surface area
so
on his feet.
This skin, I feel like is gonna fit that real well. It's gonna feel good shooting those big. Those Chiron alts are some really fun, satisfying hits to make.
He's a tiny dancer.
Definitely. All right, next up for Grim Omens Part 2 of Chapter 2, we've got Cursed Scarab Kepri. And this one is like super creepy. The card, I feel so bad for that guy that's chained up. Like, why is Kepri so big right there?
Dude,
I want to see that in game. That's a sick card.
He was the biggest god in the game for many years until Jorm had to steal
that'll
that
work.
spot. But yeah, a hardcore, just scary looking Kepri, right? Not really something we've normally done.
That's a beefy boy right there.
I like to save people.
He'll ruin your day.
Get in there and mix it up with other damaging guardians. So I think this is gonna feel great to try.
No more love bug Kepri, dude. This is like straight out the gate.
So cool. I can hear Auburn screaming. She's been wanting a Kepri skin for a long time.
I love skins that have that kind of like very like heavy contrast from like their base personality.
Right.
Like that's very much not base Kepri.
Cool.
That's true. Next up, I think I wrote the voice lines for this one. It was tricky to make him do his Kepri saving you things, but being mean about it.
It's like, come over here, I'll save you, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Right, next up, we've got Fey Mantis Arachne, and this is going to be in the Fey Mantis chest coming out next week on Tuesday, and this one just looks super slick.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. And this one has a very special feature about it, which is cool. As you notice, she has wings.
Yeah, animation team definitely put in a ton of work. Brand new animation for the ultimate where she's flying, and I also got a little note that she's got new little mantis babies for spiders.
Right. Yep. So the spider babies are mantis, and this one, instead of turning upside down and walking on the ceiling, when you ult, she flies and she looks forward at her enemies.
That's awesome.
Which I'm like stoked about.
Not my style.
And I love the green and gold. Arachne. That combo is classic.
I'll stay with the chibi Arachne for now.
All right, and then last up for skins coming your way on May 5th, we've got Electric Buzz, Amuz, and Cobb. Another one that's been really,
AMC's got a lot of good skins.
Kind of talking about this skin in the community
for a
long time, but this one looks super clean.
Oh, that one's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique
That's a
take
weird
on
skin.
A steampunk theme.
That's like steampunk Scarecrow.
It's like as we were working on science,
Yeah, as we were working through this, and we realized that the buzzing of bees and kind of the humming of electricity and like gadgets and stuff. Like if you think like Tesla type of theme, there's a lot of similarities there artistically. So this skin theme like really came together throughout the development. Like we started with just something that looked really cool, but as we were going through and doing the abilities and like
looks like this, the villain
so
from
you get this cool static charging effect when he shoots his swarm.
Too bad he's hot trash.
Hives
he's
are
not
these
the strongest
hunter
in the
that
game,
are buzzing, and it makes such good sense with electricity and bees. I never thought to make that artistic comparison before.
Right, yeah.
But when you work in game dev, you see some really interesting stuff, and I'm just like, man, this is right on brand for AMC, even though you would think it's kind of
like a
crazy
match made
for
in heaven.
And that hacksaw arm just looks so freaking sweet.
I know, right?
And if your electricity buzz is buzzing, something's wrong.
It's gonna be awesome. Cool. Well, that wraps it up for everything that is headed your way in the.
So all of that is the bonus balance.
That is going to be live and in game next Tuesday on May 5th.
There you go.
So
May 5th.
Stay tuned on social media.
Everything after this point is going to go live at the end of May. That's the beginning of May.
And let's go ahead and
everything
get into
else is the end of May.
Community and esports news before we get into the major update stuff. So the first thing is we've been doing the Stay In With SMITE campaign to encourage everyone to practice social distancing with everything going on. We're at home, so we're enjoying SMITE with our friends. So we want to encourage you guys to party up online, still hang out with
party
your friends, but in a
time.
party
2
place in
times
SMITE.
everything.
And if you do that, as long as you're in a party of 2 or more, you'll get 2 times everything this weekend.
This weekend. So when does that start?
That starts on Friday, I think 5 a.m. Eastern time, and it'll go all the way through Sunday. Yeah.
Yo, I hit the triple worshippers hard this weekend, right? So I might go back and do it again this weekend.
For sure, yeah. All right, and then the last note for community and esports news, SMITE actually launched on the Epic Game Store yesterday.
It did.
So we're super excited to welcome a whole new
you can
platform
use
of
code
gamers to the
Incon
SMITE community.
when you buy
There's
gems,
actually a
and
free
I get
bundle
some
on
of
the
it.
Epic Game Store,
And
so
I
if you're
promise
interested
to
in
use
playing
that
on
fund
the
to
EGS
buy
launcher,
Taco
you
Bell.
can go and
I
claim
promise
some-
you.
I think it's
It will be
5
spent on
gods, 5
BT5
skins, and
layers.
5 voice
Use
packs,
code Incon.
all for free
Okay?
through the Epic Game Store launcher.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's exciting. We're always happy to open up SMITE to more players, right? This is not going to have any effects on Steam version in any way, and they'll be able to crossplay with everybody else. And I don't know. I don't have the stats. Or they might be internal, but there's actually a surprising a number of people who use Epic Game Store who don't use Steam, which is really. I know that may be surprising to some of you more hardcore gamers out there, but we're really excited at the idea of, just expanding our SMITE community, which is really cool, I think.
SMITE more places.
Yeah,
right. SMITE more places.
We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, cool.
Right, let's go ahead and talk about some.
There's literally no reason not to want SMITE on the Epic Game Store.
The first one is
Steam, cool. Switch, cool. Epic Game, sure. Whatever.
We've got some home.
The more places it can be, the better. The more people can play it.
In the next update, and AJ, you kind of want to take the reins on what we're doing here.
Yeah. So really, what we want to make sure we do is establish a pattern of improvements to the game. Right, this is what Project Olympus is in its most true essence. We want to be looking at
if there's any way we could compress this image more, that would be preferable.
Artistic fixes, not necessarily just
things compress that are it a little bit
strictly
more
related to the gameplay. So hitting abilities, dealing damage. We want to also look at the game as a whole.
Too many pixels, dude. Too many
improvements. So this is one we've been working on for a little while to make sure we address a lot of the community feedback with our home screen presentation, as well as improve some functionality there. So there's a nice long list in the patch notes. I don't want to just read them all off individually. It's a lot of things. Yeah. Things have been moved. Certain things have been moved around on the home screen to clean up the left, the list of text on the left.
Okay.
Got a lot of feedback that people weren't really stoked with how long that list was. So
the UI changes
that
basically.
Left list of text is going to have time-limited events and like the core game features. So play God's Store and then time-limited events. At the bottom right is where you're going to go to find some other things that would be moved away from that list. We also have new art on that text, updating that a little bit nicer quality and font and color.
We're talking about the need for a UI update.
God models on the home screen, you can now rotate and turn them around, which I'm really excited about because I always try to do that and it doesn't work. Yeah. So yeah, that works. You can also
that's a much cleaner aesthetic actually.
Between the different skins to cycle them yourself instead of just having to wait. Because you can see the 5 options at the bottom will light up. We moved a few things away to the sides just to clean things up. So there's the big bottom bar across the bottom.
They have a bunch in the bottom right-hand
corner. Top bar, we cleaned that up. The chat in the bottom left, that's been cleaned up a bit too. Key functionality change there is you will now be able to see 2 lines of chat all the time, any screen.
Thank you.
That will always pop up and show you what's being said
Thank the
without
Lord.
you having
we don't
to
have
actually
to click on the chat every single time.
Which is, really good for things like ranked lobbies and things like that when you're discussing with your teammates.
Gosh.
I don't know. There's a lot here, so take a look at the patch notes. And this is not the end. We're going to keep working on this. We're going to keep moving forward and doing similar things like this to this screen and to other screens, trying to constantly, create our paradise, right? Our Olympus.
Definitely, yeah. And I just want to give a quick shout out to the Olympians. We showed this off to them early, and they gave a ton of great feedback to the team. So
good.
Props to those
for
guys.
Sure. Yeah, lots of community feedback being incorporated into the screen. They were included at multiple rounds, and still even maybe some changes, of course, through PTS.
That's way cleaner than it is now. That's a huge improvement.
Even some things
that
the team's still working on that maybe were not just pictured in that,
or
some things you can't actually see until you actually go interact with it. Right? That was just an image. So, yeah, it's really cool.
Cool. All right, next up for Project Olympus, let's talk about ranked for a little bit. I know it's kind of been a hot topic amongst the community. We've got a lot of updates coming for ranked in this next update. Pon, do you want to take the lead on this? I know this is your baby.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so lots of ranked stuff coming in. Largely, we've been focused on trying to make sure that with this kind of new system of not resetting MMR and leaving and preserving MMR, that any issues that might arise from that, we address as quickly as we can. But I think one of the big things that we've seen is with the preservation of matchmaking data, the matchmaker has an easier time, fancy that. And so we want to make sure that that kind of benefit we have is preserved, but also help things like at the top end where players feel like they're getting to a point where they're kind of incentivized to not play, to preserve their ranking. We want to make sure that it always feels fresh, it always feels new.
Those were the exact words that I told Isaiah to fix.
One of the first things that we're doing is we're actually increasing the cap of MMR from 2350 to 3500. Why this might seem like they'll just hit the cap later. Statistically, it's going to be very, very difficult for even a single player to hit that number, and it'll allow players rooms to really show off the differences between the top 5 players. They'll be able to actually really fight for positioning.
Yep,
which is really cool. We also did a pass on updating all the MMR values that are associated with each division. So gold is a bit more representative of the halfway point in the rank system, and Masters is actually now better representative of the top 2% of players.
Nice.
So you'll see some more descriptions in the patch notes about like what more we've specifically done to update that. But we want to make sure that Masters is like this very prestigious thing that only the top 2% who have really worked and put the time in can actually obtain.
Love it.
And we want to make sure that matches with what our previous stated goals have been. And we also are doing a new thing for the very top end of players, which is we are doing a soft reset of just people above that MMR threshold for Masters. So rather than MMR resetting everyone and losing a lot of our matchmaking data that we've gotten, we're just going to do a very light soft reset at the very top end. So each split that happens, the top end players can really fight for their new fresh positioning against each other more directly.
Yeah, so a lot of things like so. Really, we try to address a lot of key community feedback here. And when you read the ranked,
just soft resetting.
When you read the ranked, it's a little bit complicated. There's a lot of math involved. But really, what we want people to know is that we are making it harder and slower to reach Masters.
Cool.
We're adding an extra like super tier of Masters MMR that's really hard to get through, so that there's no ties amongst the best players in the game.
Love it.
We're actually kind of lowering the starting point of a lot of the core players who enter the game. This still needs to be at the mathematical average, but we're adjusting the numbers to adjust that mathematical average downwards. And we're applying party feedback too, or am I getting ahead of myself here?
So that's another thing that we're doing too, which is with the extra matchmaking being a bit more confident, especially with everyone's MMR, we feel comfortable extending the range for duo queue parties. So we're actually increasing the duo queue range for players below Diamond from 300 MMR to 500 MMR. So if you're within 500, you can queue with a friend. And for Masters or for Diamond and Masters players, that's going from 100 to 250.
Nice. You can actually queue with a friend now.
Easier to party up in rank.
You can actually queue with somebody if you want to.
So yeah, ranked is currently at one of its highest populations in recent SMITE history.
You can play with a friend,
which is really great. So we feel comfortable letting some people party up a little bit more too.
Yep, and we have our standard soft reset that we're doing, as well as we're looking for mid-season. Mid-season will have a lot of the like more hard, like for example, like God leaderboards don't reset. We're planning on resetting that for mid-season, so be looking out for mid-season update as well.
And
these are great changes.
Regards to the soft reset, it's going to be TP reset, so your rank reset, and variance reset. No MMR reset. That's intended. And the variance reset we are applying is going to not take people to as high a variance as previously. Correct, Pon?
So we did in the second split, we did a lower amount than we did the first split. We're going to keep that lower amount and see how things kind of shake up, especially because we're doing the Masters.
I'm going to be honest, these are like legit changes that I sent to Isaiah.
Cool. Thank you for clarifying.
So
cool. Well, lots of exciting ranked changes.
Boys,
your way.
They're listening. The balance changes, the rank changes.
Floating towards the top.
This is like exactly what we talked about.
And that was around remodels. So we just kind of wanted to take a couple of minutes to
almost down to a T.
Remodels. And AJ, I'll let you take
this.
This
is a great patch.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. I was supposed to talk about this today. Remodels are really great and they're really important. And we're trying to constantly keep at least one prioritized. So I guess, spoiler alert, there is a remodel planned that is upcoming. It's not going to be in this patch though, but we really appreciate the players out there sharing their feedback on which gods need the remodel. That really helps us keep an idea of which characters are the most desired by the community to remodel.
Who do you think is getting remodeled?
Ironically enough, the one we selected that we've been working on is not one that's come up in some of the recent discussions, which I was surprised about, because this one used to come up literally all the time, and at the time we reviewed it and decided for remodel, it was one of the top requested gods to be remodeled.
I feel like Sobek is up there, right?
We're going to keep looking forward at them. We're going to try to have one coming up in the next few updates, and we're going to try to have...
Good. Probably not Loki. Loki's getting a rework on his kit, so he's probably not going to get a rework and a remodel. That
keep the discussion going, and just understand for us that a god remodel is something that's really difficult. Like, we want to stay true to the base god, but we want to make it look nice. We don't want to completely redesign any of the gods. Also, by the way, like, I've seen some like Sobek remodels that make him like 6 feet taller and completely change. Like, that's not our plan.
Cupid.
We want to make them feel still like the original god, but make them look more high quality.
Probably Sobek or Cupid would be my guess.
These a lot of difficulties because the remodel needs to still feel really good with the kit. we have to make sure we don't offend people who really like the old model, so we gift out the retro skins. We'll probably continue doing that with any future remodels.
Well,
You'll be able to.
I'm trying to think of an
both,
old
so,
god that people really wanted.
From we learned from the
I feel like it was
really
Sobek. I feel like you had like a lot
going forward. So
there
is one coming up.
I
gave you a few hints as to who it might be, but I'm not going to say who. And I'm really excited about it. It looks awesome. And
Definitely.
if this is not the one that you wanted, whenever we do it, just keep in mind that there will be a next one. All right, so
there will be a next one.
Just that's nice. Cool. You know, speak up, make a post, say who it should have been, and that'll be the next one then.
Cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into balance that's coming in the final boss.
So now we're in the actual patch at the end of May.
And let's start off with Runic Shield. We're going to be decreasing the magical power reduction from 50 to 50
about time we nerf some of these hybrid warrior items. Nice change.
200 to 150.
Oh.
And I think it's worth probably talking about the next one too, because they're kind of paired.
Yeah, let's get into it. So the next one is kind of a targeted hit to a couple hybrid items. Jade Emperor's Crown is going to be our other item receiving a touch, and we're increasing the cost of Jade Emperor's Crown.
We're nerfing hybrid
from
items.
2100 to 2150, and then we're decreasing the physical protections from 60 to 50.
Yeah, I think the big thing here is we've just seen these items really picked up heavily, just for their
increased
sheer
gold cost 50,
and not
decreased
only
protection by
mitigating
10.
whoever they might be fighting against, especially in like a solo situation where you're fighting against someone else and like soloing. They were just really effective. They reduced a lot of damage, and people were not realizing that, so we wanted to tone them back just a hair.
Right, so really this is about something looking for more lethality in the solo lane, and that's something we're currently evaluating really heavily for next update and for mid-season. We see the feedback about solo lane. So
we're talking a lot about mid-season, which makes me think that mid-season will be
players buy these respective items
in June.
And then both players
they keep mentioning it, and usually they mention it in the patch before.
It's just not
I've got a feeling June might be the mid-season
patch.
Them
both, just to
New
make
God,
sure that
Loki rework, all that stuff probably in June.
Not as intense, and to actually open up some ideas of maybe you don't have to rush one of these items. Maybe you could build something else. You know, they're still pretty good in those matchups, but this was our only item change for this patch because we still have a lot of those planned for upcoming next update and for mid-season. So we're saving some of the more complicated ones for those.
Next update for mid-season.
Before we go into God balance,
so maybe it's July.
Maybe I was allowed to tell everybody what the next remodel was. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I forgot to double check.
Good. Yeah.
Are we supposed to tell everybody?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
okay,
I'm down.
Okay, I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. So I guess we'll tell everybody. I'm sorry, everybody, that I led you on. I didn't mean to mislead you. We are going to confirm that for mid-season this year, season 7, it's going to be Ares remodel.
No
more Hulk
Wouldn't have guessed that.
Goodbye to the Hulk hands.
Would have thought it would have been Sobek or Cupid.
He's actually feel like a normal proportioned human man, God man.
Yeah.
And it looks super badass.
Cool, I guess.
I'm super excited about him.
Yeah.
But don't worry, those other gods we understand. You know, Sobek, Cupid, Apollo on her. We hear.
Get out my stream, son. You're supposed to be doing patch notes.
Sorry, let's get
now back to God balance. I guess you could put that in God.
He's like, we hear you, Incon. I'm always listening.
A couple of gods that are getting some bug fixes, and we're gonna kick it off with Fafnir. Fafnir, underhanded tactics. We fixed an issue where this ability just didn't deal damage sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, shout outs to Raffer and a couple of the other pro players, Kalas, who are really
Wait, Fafnir. The Fafnir 3 bug? Did they finally fix it?
Sticking with us and helping us to track this down.
Is that what they said?
Took a surprising amount of time to find
They finally fixed the 3 bug after all these years?
It was relatively low report rate, but we did actually track it down. We do believe it'll be fixed forever.
Nice.
So Fafnir mains, personally, as the designer of Fafnir and a guardian of Fafnir
3
myself,
in
very
his
excited
dwarf
to
form, if you use it point blank,
this is a pretty notable buff.
Would literally sometimes just not do damage.
Concerned about picking him due to this risk
it just
of this
wouldn't
occurring.
hit.
So,
if you used it point blank,
great
it just
job
didn't
by
work.
the QA team, especially shout outs to QA team and Caps Lock, if y'all are familiar working with Caps Lock and some of our pro players for finally tracking this one down.
Nice.
You know, Austin French, our QA lead, just there. That team is just working so hard, and I'm really grateful for them right now.
Definitely. All right, Persephone is going to be up next, and we'll start with Pomegranate Seeds. We fixed an issue where she could actually be targeted in her passive death state, and then Harvest, we fixed an issue where plant AoE damage reduction on subsequent hits was not working.
Yeah, there's people figured out a way to basically re-enable her hitbox. So we're basically fixing that. So when she's in her death state, she should be untargetable, unhittable. She is dead. She should have a way to revive. That's a pretty big bug on Harvest. As well as there was an issue with Harvest where some of her plants would deal, like, they're supposed to do reduced damage if you hit within a certain period of time. They were kind of ignoring that, and so now that's fixed as well. So 2 fixes.
They were kind of ignoring that. That's a huge deal.
And then those of you shouting out for Persephone nerfs, these are both pretty considerable nerfs actually for bug fixing. So that's one of the main reasons why there was no additional Persephone balance on this patch notes. We will be
these are ones
keeping an idea.
Regularly.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the subsequent damage one you would run into throughout the whole game until hyper endgame, right? So, yeah. These are some pretty big changes.
Yeah, I mean that's a
All
huge
right, let's go ahead
bug.
and get into buffs then. We're gonna start off with Artemis, and this is a fun one. Caledonia.
Finally getting buffed.
We're doing a ton of changes to just make this ultimate feel a little bit.
You mean
better,
make it work?
Make Tusky feel a little bit more impactful.
Finally!
Pon did literal brain surgery on Tusky.
Yeah.
He opened it up and was just tinkering with it. He can make him smarter, faster, stronger, and that's what we did.
Decreased warm-up from 1 to 0.7, increased delay between charges.
Yeah, so this really all started with us looking to reduce the warm-up time for this ability to make sure players felt like Tusky, when you cast it, was going to be more responsive.
Oh my gosh.
We saw people kind of talking about like how you'd cast it and it would just kind of stand there and you thought you would hit someone. Upon looking to do this change, we went into the AI, we found some more bug cases, and so not only are we decreasing the warm-up time, we're adding some additional effects so that you can really clearly see the area of range of effect, as well as the time.
They finally buffed Tusky, dude.
As well as we just did a whole bunch of AI improvements.
Tusky, be smart now.
It understands line of sight better, so when people enter and leave line of sight, it'll kind of realize that more quickly. When people enter range, it'll realize it more quickly. There was a case where it wasn't hitting at max range that has now been fixed, and I can even show it a little bit of in game. So if you go on live right now and do this exact scenario, that Odin on the left gets hit first, not the one that was in the center of the target. We found a case where that wasn't happening, so we've addressed that as well. So now this should be much more respected, where Tusky actually does respect who's in the center cone targeter. It's going to be more responsive in charging. You can see there's no delay.
Okay, so you get to like choose.
In some cases, Tusky could get stuck and not charge people, so you just kind of
really who the target is. Interesting.
So just basically brain surgery. Tusky went to training over the break where everyone's working from home.
Interesting.
So you should have a much more responsive Tusky.
Smart balance actually on that. Yes. Yeah, it has like a cone that it goes to first, so you can basically kind of choose a target.
Like, I fired my Artemis assault, and Tusky just stood there and looked at me while I died. What happened? Like.
Smart.
So there is that a little bit of an intentional delay, and that's where we added that circle clarity effects to let you know when Tusky's gonna charge. But then there's a lot of other fixes that just Pon was able to find with his AI, so he'll be able to see people when they enter
and exit
line of sights around walls and things like that better.
That's good.
The ability is going to give the Artemis player way more control and clarity, which is really what's the most important to us.
Definitely. Cool. All right, next up, Kurtanos.
Nice.
Shifter of Seasons is going to be getting a buff.
We're buffing Kurtan.
And the Autumn Stance is now going to reduce magical protections as well as physical protections.
Yeah, it's a really interesting change to make Kurtanos feel like he's more of a team player, as opposed to just being selfish for his damage.
That's a cool buff.
The Autumn Stance also tends to be one of the least used stances of his Four Seasons ability. So we know that Kurtanos has been really
doesn't help his 1v1, but it helps his
team
team fight, so that's
just,
cool.
Like, straight up buff his overall top end damage, but his overall pick rate, especially like pro prioritization. Although he did finally see a Kurtanos pick, like of course as soon as the patch notes were already locked in, Zap finally picks Kurtanos. Yeah, finally picks Kurtanos for the first time ever. Thanks, man. Making me look real good over here. But the character was relatively uncontested before then, so we wanted to give him a nice little like spicy change that doesn't really like push him over the top. So this is great.
That's like a very specific
additional level of strategy.
That's not like
cool.
Game changing, but it's cool. It's cool though.
Moonflower Dance. We are increasing the magical power scaling from 50% to 60%.
And specifically on the damage portion of this ability, not the heal of this ability.
Thank God that we're not buffing a heal.
Yes,
because
correct.
Here we want to focus on letting her fight more effectively directly in fighting players and not increase her overall sustained capability in team fights.
10% on her 3, that's fine.
Yeah, I think Chang'e just needs
if there's
a
nothing
little,
more, if there's
bump.
nothing
I think
more,
this character
that's
is
fine.
kind of sleeper, honestly. But that's just me.
To be
really
fair,
like
she is the
Chang'e.
worst of the
really
healers right now.
I shouldn't let my personal.
They should be nerfing Aphrodite.
Any possible
I don't know if they're going
player
to,
feedback or data. I think the overall player feedback is this character has not been super highly valued anytime recently.
Since we're on C.
I think the last time we saw her was like jungle Chang'e last season, so giving her a little damage buff might help put her back in the jungle.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next up on the list, we've got Mulan.
Yeah, I don't think we're nerfing Afro, unfortunately.
Cross strike. The mastery bonus from this ability is getting increased from 5% attack speed to 10% attack speed once you've got it trained up all the way.
Yeah, Mulan has been a really interesting character because it's been interesting to see players trying to figure out how to play Mulan, when to be aggressive, when not to be. And
she doesn't
she's
really
doing
auto
well,
attack by that point in the game.
Just to help out some
You're
situations.
basically
and so
building and
being
then
the
getting
mastery,
out.
doing all the things to get the mastery actually obtained, we're just making that feel more rewarding.
Yep, small change to her very late game. Character's in a pretty good balance spot. People don't really think she's super overpowered, but she's not really weak either. She's just a good place. So we're looking to address feels issues.
Okay. Yep. That shouldn't.
Cool.
That shouldn't change her at all.
We're addressing some fields issues. We've got Nike up next, and barrier formation. Nike is now going to be knockback immune when she's channeling this ability.
Oh, okay.
And we've seen a lot of
we're buffing barrier.
Just as a counter, this is just a counterplay.
We
one,
made
right?
somebody
There's
rage
certain
the other day.
matchups. A lot of solo laners with channel abilities are knockup immune. Nike happened not to be. That just felt strange to players where that was getting canceled when most solo lane gods would not have this issue. So now she's going to get better in even more scenarios. And Nike's already back to top win rate, bottom pick rate, honestly. But we're trying to make her, which is why we're trying to make her feel better to play. And getting this ability strangely interrupted was, we think, a big feels bad.
All right.
Cool. All right, moving along to arguably the biggest change of the patch. We've got Rama up next, and then AJ, I'm going to let you talk first before we break down all the changes on what's going on with Rama.
Yeah, Rama is a really tricky one. We have been looking at these for a long time.
Are they going to give him a passive?
The feedback we heard
from players
give him a real passive? Rama doesn't have a passive.
Are we doing it? Yes.
Right, that's what everybody told us. Rama doesn't have
a passive. He doesn't have a passive.
So what we did was actually just make his current passive better and more closely interacted to the rest of his kit. We do like Rama's current passive. I think the design team generally disagreed with what the players were telling us on this. Although, when we disagree, it doesn't mean we just say no. We try to find a solution that works for both of us, right? So we took the current passive, we made it so that it's more interactive with the rest of his kit. His passive is now going to include the drop chance on his passive. He will not have to rank up any abilities to get drop chance for his arrows. And when he picks up his arrows, he will get mana heals.
Nice.
And the rest of his kit has been adjusted to include even more interactions with the arrows. So,
okay.
There's a lot of quality of life and
here we
just
go.
general strength being added to this kit here to make sure it still interacts in the same way, but more fluidly and more powerfully.
Definitely. So we talked a little bit about Astral Quiver, the passive. Let's talk about Pick Me Up, which has been renamed to Infinite Arrows. We removed the drop chance for arrow pickups from the ability, and we added, while the buff is active, every third successful hit on an enemy god will immediately generate an astral arrow.
Interesting.
You can see here I'm emptying the quiver, pop the 2, hit.
Yeah.
And you can see I went to 1.
So this is essentially an extension of his passive. So his passive is gonna still include the chance, the arrows per second. His passive is still gonna include that hitting targets with his arrows reduces the time, but now it's gonna include the pick me up as well. And now when you activate infinite arrows, his stim, you're gonna be able to even gain arrows back even faster from hitting successful shots.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see that I actually got a drop, even though my 2 isn't ranked at all. There you go. So you can see I'm getting that, and that chance increases per level.
Cool.
So it starts off at 3% and goes up to 50%. You can see I get mana back if I turn off energy.
So his ability 1 was already really clearly interacting with his passive, so there's not any changes to ability 1. Ability 2 has been effectively reworked because we took off the pick-me-up aspect of it. We didn't want you to have to rank up for pick-me-ups. So we had to change the name.
This is actually,
obviously that just made no sense.
It seems little, but this is actually a decent
more
change
closely
for
interact with his passive. So hitting attacks during the 2 now stim his arrows. There's also changes to abilities 3 and 4 though, of course.
Okay.
You can see
so
I have 3. Right click out of it now. Oh my god.
You can cancel after the 3. You can save your arrow and put it on cooldown.
Okay.
Cool. And then we're also increasing the physical power scaling of 25% to the bonus shot of the arrow.
I think it's added. I don't think that actually that was just flat bonus damage. Now it's got actual scaling bonus damage. So that hit after the roll is gonna that thing is gonna slap.
Oh, that's a big change.
Yep, you got an extra 25% power on that, so you get a little bit of extra incentive.
It's not just bonus damage; it's bonus damage plus scaling. Dude, that's a big shot.
This all works the same as it did before.
Yeah, the ult is the same. Way to bait us, Pop.
Oh no, cooldown.
Yeah.
Gotta do cooldown. When it's on cooldown, each arrow that I generate and pick up reduces the cooldown of it. So it's a bit hard to see because it's only 0.4 seconds because you generate arrows so quickly on him. But if you are really actively trying to farm arrows, use arrows, get drops, do all the things,
that's all collectively. Those are some good Rama changes.
More chances at using his ultimate for successfully metagaming through his passive.
Yep.
So I believe if you generate like 30 or so, you're gonna.
That's a big deal, man.
14 seconds off, which. It's pretty fair to generate that many when you're auto-attacking this much. You're using your 2. You're getting a few drops off like the minion wave while you're fighting.
Those are good changes.
Yeah, it really adds up. 0.4 seconds right now per arrow generated is the number. That adds up to I think we calculated on average that's like 10 to 20 seconds off of an ultimate every time if you're playing actively.
That's huge.
And it just started raining real hard at my house, so let's hope the stream stays up. But,
Rama getting some nice changes here. We are
pretty much a Rama rework, to be honest. Out of left field for y'all. Surprise!
I love Ra, so I'm down.
All right, on to another Hindu god, Ravan. We're actually going to be increasing the base damage of Prana Onslaught.
They're gonna buff him
80 to 300 to 90.
He's gotten really popular lately.
So in almost the complete different opposite way of adjusting Rama to Ravan. Rama gets a completely adjusted kit. Ravan gets 10 damage.
Okay.
But we really think that this character is right on the cusp.
Ravan has become really popular at high level ranks.
Strong jungle rotations, really and popular. Just a little bit of damage we think is going to actually.
His pick rate, I'm sure, in the last 2 weeks has gone up a ton.
Yeah, you get a little bit of extra damage on the side, so that you might have you might only need 1 attack instead of 2. It'll also help you when boxing other people, maybe coming to lane to help out some clear. And then if you want to be a laner with him, obviously extra 10 damage is meaningful, especially on such a low cooldown ability. I want to say it's 9 or 10.
Okay, I mean, 10 damage isn't going to make or break him.
Seem surprised about a Ravan buff in the chat, but we received unanimous feedback from Olympians and pro players that Ravan
the problem, I would say,
not really an attractive pick anymore.
Is
so
more
maybe there's just a little bit of maybe there's a little different bits of community
that this will inspire more people to go back and play him.
His
even though he's really going to be the same strength, and then people will realize how good he is, especially with the Jotun's Warrior Tabi Erendite build right now. That's really good on ability junglers.
Right, 2 more balance changes left.
It'll remind
people. And Amir's getting some fun changes here. Ice Wall. You can now refire this ability to destroy the wall.
No way!
And there's some knock-on implications.
That's actually a huge buff. That's a huge buff.
And then also another fun change to Shards of Ice. If Amir dies while channeling his ultimate ability, he will now still deal the damage for the current amount charged.
Wow, that's huge too.
The key thing to note about the ultimate is that
you guys see the cooldown? There was cooldown on the wall.
Unless you fully charge
that's
it. So
huge.
If you die while Ymir ulting, it will do damage, but it's still a little disappointing. It's not that much damage. And being able to instantly detonate
these are big
Ymir
changes.
Wall, and then because of the way the cooldown worked with the wall, and it used to go on cooldown on fire, but now it has to go on cooldown after refire. That's why the cooldown was buffed. But yeah, this effectively lets Ymir have way more control over his walls. And if you're canceling them quickly with the way the ranking works right now,
you're like, oh no, break it.
Yeah. And if you ever misplace a wall, you can now cancel it. If you have placed a wall that's done its job, you can cancel it early to get a quicker cooldown for the next one. It's really good.
Radiant just got buffed at the wazoo, son. At the wazoo.
And we've always wanted it to just be better. So now Ymir actually has the control to like maybe do some really cool type of pro play and teamwork play levels things with this wall.
Yeah, you see there because the camera reset, but the Odin did take damage.
Yeah.
You're going to have to trust us on the damage. It's not that much. Maybe if we look at another Ymir buff, it will be making his damage scale better during the charge up. Because if he cancels it early,
you can see that Odin took 97 damage. So 97 damage because
still though
immediately used it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of nice things here.
Right. If you're playing Ymir right now and you don't need to cancel the wall, you're not going to really even notice any change. These are purely added to the character for additional control in extra situations. You don't have to cancel the wall. If you just let the wall run the full duration, the way we adjust the cooldown, it's going to be the exact same as it is right now. Exact same.
It's only a benefit to cancel the wall. It's never a detriment to leave it up all the way
Correct.
that it was.
It's actually the same cooldown if you just let the wall run. And if you die during your ult, we're just giving you some free damage. So there's really I'm really happy with this, like kind of almost it feels like a reworked ability, honestly, but it doesn't take away anything.
Those are nice buffs for Ymir.
I'm stoked about this in Rama.
Those have gameplay implications. It's like quality of life-ish, but with fairly big
change on the list, and it is for Zeus. Aegis Assault, we're going to be increasing the static damage from 50 to 90, and that's going up to 55 to 95.
Did Aggro sneak that onto the list? Anyone check?
I think Aggro is editing our patch notes, Doc, or something.
Yeah, so he's getting Zeus for this is okay. So Zeus is actually really good in a lot of places, but really bad in high-level conquest. We're looking to give Zeus slightly better lane clear to specifically help his conquest performance. So this is the damage you get from basic attacking the shield, which you pretty much never hit any players with in arena or anything anyway. This is what's just going to help his lane clear and conquest a little bit better. So shouldn't affect the way he plays in arena or assault or any of that stuff. Unless you're standing in the Zeus shield, which honestly, I don't think I can fix that. I cannot balance that away. You should not be standing in that. But
Ajax said, "I can't balance your bad."
And that might make Zeus actual possible pick in conquest.
Oh man!
Cool.
Shots fired.
A lot of stuff, right? Lots of fun stuff too. So bonus bounces mostly nerfs, but then main patch bounces almost all buffs, which is super cool. And all that stuff I think we're shooting for around May 19th.
Okay.
Don't hold us to it. We'll be sure to let you guys know when the update.
Honestly, good patch.
Some more
the best bonus balance.
A lot of skins that we want to talk about.
The best bonus balance patch. Patch pretty good.
And it is themed around final bosses, and not only do we have a lot of awesome skins in the battle pass, we're making some quality of life changes to the pass as well. AJ, you want to talk about what we're making some changes to?
Oh yeah, big battle pass changes here. So battle pass chests, we are completely redesigning those. I wanted to be honest and clear up front with this with players, and walk us through the thought process here. So the battle passes are a really good deal. You get 3 top tier skins, brand new content for a low price.
Suspicious.
You get the recolored skin as well, which is a brand new tier 3 skin too if you don't own the previous one. So up to 4 skins for a really low price. All of the other stuff, all the filler, all the boosters, etc. Really a lot of things. So those battle chests and victory chests, those were intended to have a high booster chance. Those are really meant to be booster chests. We wanted people to get boosters from those. Boosters are fun. I pop boosters every game I play. It's great. Got to have worshipers for the worshiper weekend, right? So we wanted people to have boosters, but we also wanted people to have a small chance to get something better. However, the way our chest presentation works and things like that, a lot of players expected to just get skins. I don't think it's really realistic to expect to get 20 skins, 15 skins in a single battle pass. I think that's a bit much. So what we've done instead is redesign the battle pass chests to be specific types of cosmetics. So now instead of a battle chest, there will actually be a battle skin chest, and that's guaranteed to give you a older exclusive skin. All of these chests are going to include older items, so items from previous events and things like that. But there will be a battle skin chest, there'll be a battle cosmetic chest, which includes a bunch of the ones that there's maybe not quite enough for them to have their own chest.
Okay.
There's an emote chest, a voice pack chest, avatar chest, and skin chest. And then as well as there will be some more levels in the battle pass that just say 5x worshiper boosters.
That's just fine by me.
No more chests with confusing chances of what you're going to get. Everything is going to
get
you
more
exactly
straightforward compared to last, which
the only question
like a good
is
thing
what
to
type
me.
of thing, which item of that type you're going to get. So no, now
it's
the
like
people who
less
are getting
random and less random
now
is
you're
good.
Gonna get
so
another skin, and we think that the community has been super positive about all of our skin creations lately. We've been working really hard on having what we think are some of the best cosmetics in the entire free-to-play game space, and we're still working really hard on those.
To be fair, they have a very good art team.
A positive experience too.
It's a little bit of a humble brag, but
Battle Pass is going to be.
They do have the best MOBA skins.
Even better value than it was before now, because you're guaranteed a skin out of those one of those chests if you go through the premium track. And then you're going to be guaranteed more voice packs, guaranteed more, and then more fun old stuff like the cosmetic chest has some really cool stuff in it, like even music packs and announcer packs and stuff like that. So even though that one has a lot of different items, you could get some pretty cool stuff there. So just trying to be more clear and make things more obvious. So if you can go look on the patch notes, you can see all of the details, more specifics, exactly what types of items are in what chests, and exactly how many of those chests we plan on giving out in the free and the premium tracks.
Yes, for sure. All right, thanks so much for that, AJ. Let's get into the skins. And the first one in the final boss
of the skins,
battle pass is going to be the Elder Djinn.
So this is the battle pass skins.
And Baba Yaga's first skin, and she is a boss already.
This is the battle pass skin.
I'm just so happy we made this skin happen. We've been trying to turn someone
like
into
a genie,
for so long.
Yeah.
With like the tail instead of legs, essentially.
That makes sense with her. Yeah,
it's been really hard to do. But Baba, with the way she's standing over her mortar the whole time, we were like, this is the perfect chance to do it. We can put her Djinn body into the lamp, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, and that looks so good. I caught a glimpse of the house.
Oh yeah,
the house is so swag. Look at how baller that is.
Oh man, yeah, that's a good skin. I don't care. I don't care about the rest of it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Too late.
You can see like all the little small details, like a little porch area.
Love it.
You got some little like areas down here. You even got like lamps going on. Got the door. Like there's just so much detail. If you look at base house, there's a whole bunch of detail, but this also has just
tons of the house has
really
a ton of personality to it.
It looks super cool.
There you go.
I just love the pinks and like the tans look super cool. I love the sand particles coming around that's kind of hovering around Baba Yaga. Pawn, you want to just fire some abilities really quickly?
Oh god.
Just kind of get a glimpse at what she's looking like.
Ability was fired.
So into the mushrooms, we got some cacti too. It's great.
Nice.
Got the potion. It adds a little bit of different style to the potion.
Okay.
Throw it. Explosions.
Nice.
And then of course the ultimate.
Fire.
You become the new house. Love it so much.
So yeah, brand new god. Obviously the most played god in the entire game right now.
Plus she got buffed, man. Those buffs,
to her coming in the.
She's gonna be real. She's gonna be real good.
The skin comes live, you'll have big Baba buffs. So.
Big Baba buffs.
Looking forward to it, and also a series of Baba bug fixes that will launch along the same time as this skin. So feeling really good about this.
Cool. All right.
Baba buffs, Baba bug fixes.
The next boss from the next
level
it. In this battle
is so good.
The Shadow Guan Yu. And this is the first Guan Yu skin in a long time. We teased the card out on social media. People are going nuts.
Bessie.
Oh man.
Holy
so cool.
Guan Yu, son.
Super sick.
Finally, right?
Dang. Oh my god!
Bad Guan Yu skin for a while, so
Holy
he's
cow.
gone years without a skin. So
yo, Guan Yu is
I'm very happy for
that he didn't have a skin for this long.
Woo!
My man is angry.
That looks so awesome.
Absolutely.
All right,
give
next
me a
up
skin.
For Battle Pass skins, we've got the.
Oh, we're not gonna get to see that one.
This is gonna
Dang.
be the recolor for the Battle Pass. Every Battle
I wanted
Pass
to see.
has
I
one.
wanted to like.
And this is I believe Glacial Gaze was the name of the original.
Oh, so hype.
Mm-hmm. So here you can have bronze armor instead of silver armor, and you can have some different colors, whites and purples into her skin colors. So really cool skin.
That's actually a decent skin for a recolor.
High tier Medusa skin. So if you missed getting this one previously, this is a really great opportunity to get it for a really good deal along with a bunch of other cool stuff. So
cool. All right, the last skin in the final boss battle pass that we want to show you guys is the Legion Hades.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Man, it looks like he might have multiple arms.
That looks so crazy.
Creepy mouth, son.
Yeah, awesome. This is a really interesting concept. We really tried to push
like
it
Mouth
into a kind
of
of almost new
Sauron.
theme.
What
He's
the?
like I guess you would say,
what is
a
that?
fallen angel or like a demon, a sort of demon, but unlike any demon you've ever seen before.
It's very like
the
almost like Lucifer-y.
A really cool way to accentuate his spectral.
Interesting. Like
demon
once was an angel.
The armor.
Interesting. It's actually cool though.
Awesome.
That's
cool.
Cool.
Dark theme, but it's still got some like. Yeah, I know, right? I'd be hitting that save point ASAP and gearing up, man.
That's a good one, Isaiah.
Very interesting.
That's the theme for the battle pass, right? The final bosses.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we've got another chapter of Grim Omens coming out in the final.
That's a good battle pass.
3, and we've got.
That's a good battle pass. Use that code Incon when you're getting your gems on the Epic Game Store, dude.
To buy all on the day the update releases. But for the first skin in Chapter 3, it's Grim End Hercules.
A Hercules skin. Okay, so this is for the Grim Omen stuff.
Gold armor here. Dude, he looks so spooky. He almost looks kind of like in the same theme as the Zeus skin that came out recently.
It reminds me of like if he went to like the Tartarus side of the map on like Conquest and just like ripped.
I'm gonna be honest. He kind of looks like Shinken. Doesn't really do it for me.
Oh, dude,
I'm gonna be honest.
I want to get hit with that weapon. Cool. All right, and then the next skin up for Grim Omens Chapter 3, it's going to be World Kitty Jormungandr, and probably my favorite skin of the patch. I get you guys in chat probably have some good guesses on who really wanted this skin to come into the game, but it's so cute and like
World
great expressive
Kitty.
Face. It's so awesome.
Yes.
I like how he's just terrorizing the
God.
He's just flopping around. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I cannot wait to just terrorize. Cool.
That cannot be a real skin,
Chapter
dude.
3 of Grim Omens. The next skin that we got for you guys.
Oh,
the rainbow
man, that is
cartoony.
We're really embracing the meme, dude.
I just want to go.
That could be the trollest skin ever, and there's some troll skins in Smite.
So good.
It's so great. Cool. All right, next up for Grim Omens Chapter 3, we've got Lunar Explorer Chang'e. And you guys might have seen it. It was in that UI screenshot that we showed towards the top of the show. But Chang'e, she's got her legs again, and she's
Chang'e, you're in space. Cover your body.
Tagging along with.
I don't know how well cleavage does in space.
Yes, this is a very
but if I had to guess, it's gonna have a bad time.
Finally gave her legs, as opened us up to way more Chang'e skin options. So this is a really interesting twist on Chang'e. We just want to try something really different for her. So I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Again, it's kind of a completely new take on a sci-fi theme for us.
Funny has
the armor notes were awesome. Yeah, it was dope. Cool. All right, and then the chapter award for Chapter 3 of Grim Omens is Bewitching Bunny Scylla. And I know the animation team, rating team, put in a ton of work on this new skin. It's actually going to be the first Scylla skin where
it's kind of terrifying,
like a lizard tentacle or anything.
It's kind of scary.
Underneath her. She's got
kind of like really scary
that are hanging out with her.
Yeah.
Dude, the energy of the bottom left one.
Dude, okay, it's less scary in game.
The bouncing.
Okay,
yeah,
the card art was a lot scarier than it is in game. It's a lot cuter in game.
Actual snake. So they are, they're gonna match the heads of all of the other Scylla skins. They're gonna match that location, but we just adjusted the way they're connected to her body, gave her feet, and made them their own like little bouncing characters on their own. And oh man, I love how they each have their own personality. That's definitely the best part.
I know, right? It's so great. It's like they're rolling up with the squad, and like if you mess with Scylla, you mess with them.
I kind of like it stays around just to finish the carrot and then goes away when it's done.
Okay.
Of course, the ultimate.
This one's looking fantastic. Oh, definitely.
Oh, she like flies in the ultimate.
Nice.
She just
that's so awesome.
dunks on you with 2 rabbits.
With the bunnies, man.
Oh, that's looking sick. So again,
there actually might be advantageous to use this skin. The 3's a little bit invisible. The ulti's a little bit harder to see.
If you unlock all the items in Chapter 3,
that might be a little bit of a hard skin to play against, depending.
We've got one more skin in the final boss update.
We'll have to see, you know, what it looks like in the game, but that's verging right on.
Oh, nice.
A little bit of assistance in game.
Like the same theme as the Nox skin. I know, it's so awesome.
Yeah, kind of a new...
Hey, now that's a cool skin.
Oh, he is destroying a planet.
There you go.
Effortlessly.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's hardcore.
Dude, that is sick. It's crazy. This is looking
awesome.
There you go. I love the
that's like the Nox theme.
His entire
yeah.
And like the galaxy
cool theme.
Textures. You can see like the stars and stuff floating around. It looks super awesome.
Yeah, I got to use his ult too, and the ult has some really cool effects as well. Definitely like the black hole like things that he's riding and like on the weapon.
Cool theme.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
I love this
for
theme.
sure. So yeah, this one's gonna be in the Galaxy Hero chest. That's gonna be live with the final boss update, and that actually I think that wraps up our show. AJ Pond, you guys.
Dang, what a good show!
Honestly,
know, right? It was awesome. You guys got anything that you want to
straight up? What a good show!
As we wrap things up.
What a good show!
I'm excited to see all the bonus balance.
Yeah. Bonus balance,
yeah,
bunch of nerfs.
Next week is going to be awesome.
Just want to thank everybody for staying in with SMITE, you know, playing a lot of games and staying safe out there. You know, I know that's what I've been doing. Want to thank everybody for bearing with us while we, you know, ship the game completely working from home, do the patch notes completely working from home. Like, you know, you caught me looking in other directions or whatever, scratching my head on. I'm not a pro streamer like Pon Isaiah, so I just appreciate y'all for all of that. Think SMITE is in just an absolutely great spot right now, and coming up we have some really huge, really great stuff in the next few updates. I'm so excited right now. It's gonna be
honestly, the patch was great. Literally the only complaint that I have is that Afro didn't get nerfed, and that's like the main one. Like, no Afro nerfs is pretty much my only complaint. Outside of that, the bonus balance patch is by far the best bonus balance patch we've ever had. The patch itself is very good in its own. I'd even say the bonus balance is probably a little bit better than the patch itself, but the patch still has really good stuff in it. Skins, for the most part, look cool. It's a great battle pass. Reworking the battle pass system to make it more honest. Better improved UI, generic bug fixes, like... This is probably the best patch of the year. As long as nothing goes horribly wrong, this is probably the best patch of the year.